This is the hot new thing, unfireable. You can be fired from your job, but you can never be fired from your purpose. Dr. Velma Trayham. Why this book?
So when I think about purpose,
Mm,
purpose is the thing that we were put on earth to do, the
hmm.
problems that we were actually put on earth to solve.
Yeah.
And when I think about the climate that we're in right now, where millions of people have lost their jobs,
Hmm.
and some of the people that has lost their jobs, they're scrambling, trying to
Hmm.
figure out, what am I going to do now?
Yeah. Hmm.
And AI
Hmm.
is displacing so many people. I mean, departments are being disrupted
Yep.
and there's just a lot, and people are trying to figure out, who am I
Mm.
without my title?
Hmm.
And so I
Yeah.
believe that we all need to become unfireable.
Hmm.
And the way we become unfireable is by walking in our true purpose and destiny.
Hmm.
Because when we are walking in our purpose,
Hmm.
you probably can take the title away,
Yeah.
but you can't take the purpose away.
Oh, I love that. Welcome to Extraordinary Stories. I'm your host, Forbes Shannon, and the guest we have in studio today, there's so many different things that we can talk about. She is a #1 best-selling author of Unfireable, the president and CEO of the Black Chamber of Arizona, has a portfolio of companies, including ThinkZilla, Millionaire Mastermind, modular stuff that we'll get into, and also just throughout the first pitch at the Diamondbacks home game, the one and only Dr. Velma Trayham. Dr. Trayham, thank you so much for being here.
Thank you very much for having me. I'm super excited to be on your podcast. This is
Yeah,
incredible.
thanks. Well, you were nominated by Aaron Bear. How do you know Aaron?
I have known Aaron, okay, how long? Okay, so I've been in Arizona, I think it's almost 6 years, 5 years. You know what? I've known Aaron for about 13
Get
years.
out of
I
here.
met Aaron through a mutual friend,
Uh-huh.
and Aaron is incredible. He is extraordinary. He is amazing. So I'm honored that I was nominated by Aaron. Thank you,
Oh,
Aaron Bear.
yeah. Well, I mean, he finds you extraordinary, and when he introduced me, to you, that was, like, a couple years
A
ago.
couple years ago,
Yeah.
time is
I
flying.
know, right? Yeah. I had hair then. Yeah. He was like, "I don't really know how to describe Dr. Traham, you just kinda gotta meet her." And then when I met you, I was like, "I get it." Yeah. You got so much going on.
I do. It seems like that. It
Mhm.
does.
Yeah. Well, I mean, so let's start with the book, because this is the hot new thing, unfireable. You can be fired from your job, but you can never be fired from your purpose. Dr. Velma Trayham. Why this book?
So when I think about purpose,
Mm,
purpose is the thing that we were put on earth to do, the
mhm.
problems that we were actually put on earth to solve.
Yeah.
And when I think about the climate that we're in right now, where millions of people have lost their jobs,
Mhm.
and some of the people that has lost their jobs, they're scrambling, trying to
Mhm.
figure out, what am I going to do now?
Yeah. Mhm.
And AI
Mhm.
is displacing so many people. I mean, departments are being disrupted
Yep.
and there's just a lot, and people are trying to figure out, who am I
Mm.
without my title?
Mhm.
And so I
Yeah.
believe that we all need to become unfireable.
Mhm.
And the way we become unfireable is by walking in our true purpose and destiny.
Mhm.
Because when we are walking in our purpose,
Mhm.
you probably can take the title away,
Yeah.
but you can't take the purpose away.
Oh, I love that. I think, it's kind of this old story, right? Like someone works their whole life, they retire, and then like in a week they're dead, because their meaning for living was the title and was the job,
Yeah.
right? And yeah, as an entrepreneur, we're both entrepreneurs, right?
Yeah.
You have to pretty quickly have a purpose outside of whatever you're building, and the building of it just supports your purpose, because it's tough being an entrepreneur, and you've been you're a serial entrepreneur, right? And now you actually coach entrepreneurs. Have you always been an entrepreneur?
Well, so I was born and raised in poverty
Mm,
to a 14-year-old mom,
mm,
and my grandmother raised me, and I remember my grandmother always praying over me and saying that, how you start, it's not how you have to finish.
Mm.
And so for me, I became an entrepreneur out of necessity.
Mhm.
In fact, my first 3 companies failed,
Mhm.
but I decided not to give up.
Mhm.
So I continued to just build.
Mm.
And so my 4th company was successful. I was able to sell it. The 5th company successful. I was able to sell it. And I'm like, wait a minute, I think I got this business building thing down pat. And so then I just developed a strong desire to
Mm.
use what I learned
Mhm.
through those failures, to use the wisdom, to use the knowledge,
Mm.
to use the understanding and even the resilience of what it
Mhm.
takes to build anything,
For sure.
right? To
Mhm.
then I say, you know what? This is my purpose.
Mhm.
I have been able to overcome this. So I am the first generation everything. First generation entrepreneur, first generation millionaire, my family, first generation college degree, everything. And so that is the core nature of who I am. So to
Mm.
answer your question,
Mhm.
I became an entrepreneur out of necessity.
Mm. Mhm. That's a red thread we've had on this podcast is out of necessity or like a lot of people found a solution that they could go to market with, not because they were looking to, go to market with something, but because they were trying to solve a problem in their own life,
Mhm.
you know? And we see a lot of entrepreneurs like you who are very successful who go back and then want to help the next generation. So my my question's kind of two-part. The first is, what was it like breaking through in your family lineage to be the first? And
Yeah.
second, like how do you nurture that in others?
Yeah. Really good question. You never know what you're going to ask Shannon. And that was one of the things when I looked at your podcast interviews, I'm thinking, wow, he really asked some good questions, right?
Thank you.
And I love how you don't share the questions before. So this is unscripted. I absolutely love this, right? So what was it like? I will say this, it wasn't easy.
Mm,
It's still not easy,
mhm,
but resilience and faith
mm,
is what I continue to remind myself of every single day.
mm.
When I think about faith, faith is the substance of the things that we hope for,
Yeah.
but it's the evidence of the things that we do not see.
So it's the substance of what we hope for, but the evidence of the things we do not see.
Absolutely.
Mm,
And so when I think about my journey and this big mission and purpose that I have in life to end poverty through entrepreneurship.
mm.
I'm going to end poverty through entrepreneurship and the people
Massive.
that's going to help me to
Mhm,
do end poverty through entrepreneurship. I keep saying that's what I'm doing. And that
mhm,
is actually what I'm doing.
mhm,
It hasn't been easy. And still today, although I have a track record of success in different markets and serving right now, I serve on 21 boards.
mhm.
I am, consulting, advising public and private companies. And I think about, they always ask, how do you do? Are you cloned? Are you a cloned
Yeah, I was
AI or
just wondering
whatever?
that. Yeah.
Everyone asks that, but it goes back to purpose.
Mhm.
Because when you're walking in purpose, it doesn't feel like you're working.
No.
You're doing the thing that you were put on earth to do,
Mm,
and it doesn't actually feel like I'm working.
mhm,
Going back to your question, it wasn't easy at all.
mhm,
It's hard, but when you know that you are breaking generational curses and cycles,
mhm,
when you know that you are making a difference, when you know that you're creating impact wherever you go, when you know what you know, you just keep on going.
mhm,
Despite what everyone says or what they think or what they feel. See, a lot of times people try to put you in a box.
mhm.
And that has always been the thing for me. Like, what did she do?
Mm.
She does
Oh,
this and
I
that and
totally
this and
get
that. And
that.
I'm like, wait
Mhm,
a minute.
mhm.
Don't box me in. I
Yeah.
solve problems. I don't sell services. I
Mhm,
craft solutions.
mhm. I love that. I totally resonate with you on that. It's like when I would tell people I'm a comedian, it felt like immediately they just assumed I was dumb, right? Or
Wow.
if I told them I was like valedictorian, they were like, there's no way this guy's any fun, right? Like
Crazy.
you notice how like
Yeah.
people will just put their own, you said it perfectly. They'll put you in a box
Yeah.
if you let them, right?
Or project their limited ability to think
Mm-hmm.
progressively
Mm-hmm.
on you.
Yeah. So, I mean, how do you do all this? Like, what what's your sleep schedule like?
Well, I will say I don't have any bags under my eyes, which is really good. So I sleep good.
Mhm.
I get at least 7 to 10 hours of sleep,
Good for you. Mhm.
but I will tell you, with all of my companies
Mhm.
and even the, organizations that I oversee in the assignments that I'm on, I build incredible teams.
Mhm.
I think that people are
Mm.
important. How you treat people, how you
Mhm.
mentor people, and really being the type of leader that wants everyone to succeed,
Mm.
that wants everyone to break generational curses
Sure.
and cycles.
Mhm.
And so I have incredible teams that works within our organization. We have incredible strategic partners. We
Mhm.
have incredible consultants. We have incredible organizations that partner within our infrastructure
Mm.
to move the needle forward. So there is no I in team.
Mm.
I do spend a lot of time mentoring my team
Mhm.
and spending time laughing. And I just love people.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
love good people, right?
Mhm.
Now, I don't like a lot of negative, pessimistic energy bandits, but I love good people.
Uh-huh. I get it. Yeah. All right. Now let me ask you this. So let me give you some context of why I'm asking this. So when I was growing up, I was always the worst hockey player on my hockey team, but I was always the captain of every hockey team,
Wha-
because it was like,
I
I'm going to
can't
be the
imagine you being the
loudest.
worst.
It was, it, wa- you know, it, I was like tiny, I still am tiny, and that's like a sport where you kind of need to have some muscle on you. um, but I'm asking this because as a leader, like when did you realize like your natural role as a leader on a team?
So, my first 3 companies failed, and I realized that I was trying to do everything alone.
Interesting. Mm,
I realized that in order to build something big,
mm-hmm.
I would need to have support. I would need to have help. I
Mm,
would need to be a leader. So, here's also what I have realized is like we oftentimes pray for certain things.
yeah.
We pray for success, we pray for money, we pray for this, that, and the other.
Yeah.
But
Mhm.
what I've realized along my journey is that yes, God gives us what we pray for, but He gives us what we're able to manage properly, what we're able to lead properly, what
Mhm.
we're able to oversee properly.
Mhm.
Because He's not going to give us something that we're not going to be able to oversee.
Mhm. I love that answer. And like, because you see it sometimes you see people who got like too much and then immediately it's gone, right?
Yeah.
People that win the lottery, right? You know,
Yeah.
right? Like it was too much to handle and then you lose it.
Yeah.
When you made that adjustment from I was doing everything by myself to having a team, you know, was there like a overcoming a fear of asking for help that you had to go through?
Yeah. I mean, it was certainly a mindset shift.
Mm,
Because oftentimes we feel like we don't want to ask for help.
mm,
Or there's so much pride in a lot of people. And truthfully, I was probably one of those people that
mm,
had a lot of pride because growing up very poor and not understanding the way commerce works, not understanding entrepreneurship, not understanding how to build, I realized I needed to fail forward fast
mm,
before I could reach my destiny. But I also realized that I was going to have to unlearn some of the cultural things and how I was brought up
for sure.
in order to have a more diverse perspective
Mhm,
on people,
mhm,
outcomes, places, how I saw life.
mm,
And so for me, it was truly studying also very successful people
mm,
and how they built and how they thought. And then I just began to ask God, like, I don't have family members that can teach me this.
mm,
God, w- how am I going to do this? How
mm.
am I going to do this? And then I started reading my one of my favorite books called the Bible.
Yeah.
And I learned that Jesus left Nazareth.
Yeah.
He started doing miracles when he left Nazareth. They didn't believe in him in his hometown. They said, "Oh, he's just the carpenter's son. He's just
Mm,
Mary's son," and this. And
mhm,
so he moved from Nazareth and started doing these things. And then I studied the journey of Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, who's
mm,
the gospel, the eyewitnesses of what they saw.
mhm,
And then I thought, you know what? I'm going to just mirror these people in this book.
mm,
And that, for me, has truly been a transformation, especially when I think about this one scripture in the Bible where it was something about Peter, and they said, um, how did this man get so wise? And they
mm,
said, because he's been spending time with Jesus. And so
mm,
I have to attest my time in
mhm,
prayer,
mm,
my time in fasting,
mm,
my time in really asking and crying out to God. If this is my purpose, if you've given me the vision, then you're going to have to give me the provision.
mm,
And
mm,
that's when I
mm,
started to see transformation happen.
mm. Man, you said something earlier that I want to call back to because I think it's on the thread you're on right now. Unlearning. We had someone on the podcast the other day talking about there's a distinct difference between a poor mindset and a broke mindset,
Mm.
right? Like you can be when Elon Musk sold PayPal, he had to borrow money to pay rent,
Yeah.
right? He was broke,
Yeah.
right? But breaking as you are working on, helping other people, and you're focused on ending poverty through entrepreneurship,
Hmm.
like what is it about the unlearning that needs to happen? And, how are some ways that, people can start to unlearn that?
I really like that question. Um, I have an example that I want to use,
Okay.
and then I'll bring this thing back home. Unlearning things in order to overcome the poverty mindset.
Okay.
I believe that it is despicable for a person with a poverty mindset that know they don't have the capacity to elevate and to help
Mm,
someone, but then they themselves sow discord. They sow lies.
mm,
They are energy bandits, and their sole purpose is to stop positive movement and to stop impact.
mm,
And so they plant these demonic seeds of lies and all the
mhm,
satanic hindrances and all of these many things. And what it does, it causes a hindrance
mm,
in movement,
mm.
progressive movement, because people begin to believe their lies.
Yeah.
And instead of the person that they are talking to or the ecosystem of people that they are sowing these lies to, that they themselves need to be elevated from poverty,
Mm,
they decide to stick right here with the poverty minded individual that's sowing lies and sowing discord.
mm,
And so that is an example
mhm,
of how poverty
mm.
spreads within communities and why our communities can't move forward.
Is it almost like you can get infected?
You absolutely can get infected.
Mm,
I hear a lot, and I'll just use this as an example. So people will say, "Oh, Donald Trump is this horrible person." Guess what? He's a businessman, and guess what? We all have some horrible things about us. I mean, it's just the reality. I'm not. I'm
uh-huh.
just.
No, I get you.
We
Yeah,
all.
uh-huh.
None of us are perfect people,
Mhm,
and so when I think about how we're all people that are hurt trying to build.
mm,
None of us are perfect people.
mm,
And so when you consistently and intentionally impart poverty thoughts,
mm,
poverty um, activities into the community
mm,
that you're supposed to be helping,
mhm,
it is a disservice, and it is not allowing us to move a generation forward with creativity, with positivity, with progressive thought process, with understanding how commerce works, with
mhm,
how understanding how to build generational wealth, because your broke minded self
mm,
is sowing all of this negative energy,
Mm.
and it's stopping people from really wanting to get over to the other side
Mhm.
to be a part of the success,
Mhm.
because your poverty-minded self have sown so much discord,
Yeah.
right?
Mhm.
And so I say that because those are people that I believe they need to go get on their knees and they need to ask for deliverance,
Mm.
and they need to consecrate themselves from the poverty mindset. And that means jealousy, anger,
Mm.
hurt,
Mhm.
discord, all of those
Mm.
things. Because whatever is on the inside of us,
Mm.
it's going to come out. And whatever it is that we sow, we're going to reap. And they
Mhm.
don't understand why they're continuously going around infecting and with a poverty mindset, but it starts within.
Mhm.
Poverty is a state of mind. It's
Yeah.
not a lack of money. It is a state of
Mm.
mind.
Mhm. I love that. And, you just nailed it. Like, what happens in here will inevitably come out.
Yeah.
Like, there was one time, and this is when I started to really go deep into meditation, was,
Mm.
I was doing this show, and, the guy who was, like, the big cheese, I was like, "Hey, I'm Forbes, I'll be your host." And he was like, "Whatever." I was like, "Okay." And I brought him up on stage, and we were using, like, wireless mics, and we never use wireless mics. I'm always handheld, but for whatever reason that night, it's wireless. And, I go backstage, and he goes up on stage, and the first thing he does is he makes, like, some hacky joke about me because he's a nervous speaker, you know how people are, right? And I was like, right? Mic's on, hot mic. Everyone out here heard that, right? So I have to go back out and be like, "My bad?" And so that's when I adopted this hot mic rule, is like, don't say anything,
Yeah.
like, that you wouldn't want on a hot mic.
Wow.
Then it goes another step further, can't even think it,
Mm.
'cause it might come out,
Yeah.
right? So is, like, like, how do you keep your mind pure? That was a long-winded way to ask that. But, like, that was the moment for me where I was like, I just can't even think negative stuff because I can't risk saying it, and then I
Yeah.
can't risk it just being out there, right?
Yeah. Yeah. How do I keep my mind pure? I'm going to give
It is kind of a loaded question, isn't it?
I'm going to give an example. You're going to laugh at this,
I
Forbes. I'm
love it.
telling you, going to laugh. So, one of my friends, just 2 days ago, I'm literally sitting at a Chinese restaurant trying to eat some chicken and minding my own Velma business.
Yeah.
And they were like, "Hey, did you see the uh 50 Cent ex whatever the lady's name is, ex
Mhm.
baby mama
Yeah.
sex tape out?" I said, "No." I said, "Nor do I want to see." It's like, "No, you should go and look because it's breaking the internet, blah, blah, blah." And then I thought that they had played it up so good that I was just like, "You know what?" I said, "You know what? Let me go and check this out." So as soon as I hung up the phone with them, I said, "No, no, no.
Mhm.
I am not going to look that up
Mhm. Mhm.
because I don't want whatever it was." I still haven't seen it. This has been 2
Yeah.
days ago. I don't want whatever it was in that video to have an impact
Mhm.
on my mind
For
and what
sure.
I'm trying to do in terms of being pure and
Mhm.
holy.
Mhm.
I always pray, "Lord, take me out these unholy streets." But the reality is we have to be intentional. We have to be intentional about what we allow in.
Yeah.
And so my favorite book, I'm
Mm.
going back to the
Mhm.
Bible,
Mhm.
it says to judge a tree by the fruit that it bears.
Mm.
And so, what is fruit? What is the spiritual
Mm.
fruit? It is love, patience, kindness,
Mhm.
long suffering,
Mhm.
how you treat other people.
Mm.
Um, being able to be pure. I'm not perfect,
Mhm.
but my heart is to help people and to
Mhm.
elevate people
Mhm.
from poverty
Mm.
to a promising future. And the only way that I'm going to be able to do that in purity is by trying to mitigate as much
Yep. You just
negativity.
can't consume it.
I
Mhm.
can't consume it. I
Mhm.
don't play around with gossip. I don't let people
Yep.
use me as a garbage can where they're gonna dump all their trash in
Yeah.
me. I don't
Do not
allow
tell
that.
me your secrets, dude. I don't wanna hear them. Yeah.
That part, if you wanna call me to talk, I don't
Right.
wanna hear that.
Mhm.
If it's not positive, if it's not
Mhm.
productive, if it's not about building, I don't wanna hear it. And
Yeah.
I think the other thing
Don't make
is
me an accomplice, right? Because
exactly.
you tell me, it's like, well, now I'm in on this with
Now
you,
I'm in, yeah, and
right?
I just feel like there is so much good
Mhm.
that we could all be doing.
Mhm.
And so the devil's job, my favorite book tells
Mhm.
us that the devil's job ultimately is to steal, kill, and to destroy.
Mm.
And when I think about the strategies the devil uses to steal, kill, and destroy,
Mm.
it's lies, it's gossip, it's discord, it's all of those strategies
Mhm.
to complete the steal, kill, and destroy.
Mm.
And it's the stealing of generational wealth. It is the killing of purpose and destiny.
Mm.
It is the destroying of the next generation that if they don't have the right leaders, they're going to go down the wrong path.
Yeah.
And so I go back to this is not a physical battle. This is a
Mhm.
spiritual battle that we're fighting. And so I'm always focused on or looking not at who people are on the outside, but who are you at your core?
Mm.
And so that's important to me. So going back to that question, I judge a tree by the fruit that it bears. I try to be the best person that I could possibly be so that I can attract the same type of people
Mhm.
so that we can ultimately move things forward collectively and together.
Do you watch the news?
You know what? I don't watch it a lot.
Mm.
I may get some things pop up on my algorithms,
It's
but not a
part
lot.
of my pure thing is, like,
Yeah.
it's just, like, so Ted Turner, he created CNN. He created the 24-hour news cycle.
Yeah.
The news before Ted Turner was, here's what happened today, and then once we needed to fill 24 hours, it's like,
Yeah.
here's what happened today. Here's what might happen tomorrow,
Yeah.
here's who Pete Davidson's dating, right? Like, and then it's like the weather, right? Like, the weather used to be, hey, it's gonna rain on Tuesday, and now the weather, like, every storm has like a name. It's got like a brand, it's got a sponsor, it's like, hey, watch out for Hurricane Steve, sponsored by DraftKings, like it's like
So true.
I can't do it,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, and so, I am curious, like, when you consume stuff, like, how quickly do you, like, see between the lines? Like, because you talk so much about, like, being aware of what the devil's doing, right?
Mhm.
How quickly, and it can be, from what you read, from what you watch, from the people you interact with, how do you pick up on, like, that's seems like that's something that's kinda trying to control me?
Yeah. Really good question. Um, I use this word called discernment.
Mm.
And discernment is our ability to see
Mhm.
spiritually and see. And for me, it's through pattern recognition.
Mm.
And so oftentimes,
Mhm.
no matter how a person presents themselves,
I've seen this story before kinda thing?
I've seen this pattern. I've discerned this spirit. I've heard this word. I have, you know what I mean? I've
Mhm.
seen this. I know how you're getting ready to move. I know
Mm.
what you're getting ready to say. I know what you're going to try to drag me into. So it is
Mhm.
discernment by way of pattern recognition,
Mhm.
but then it's also sitting and praying, saying, "Hey God, can you reveal what's right from almost right?"
Mm.
Because almost right is wrong.
Mhm.
Just think about just think about if you had to have cardiovascular
Mhm.
surgery, that
Mhm.
something was terribly off with
Right.
your heart,
Mhm.
and you got a doctor that did almost right.
Yeah, right. Mhm.
Almost right is wrong, and
Mhm.
discernment and wisdom
Mhm.
will allow for us to understand
Mhm.
the people, the pattern, the wisdom, the spirit that's behind the activity.
Mhm.
And so I analyze all of that. And I
Mhm.
may not say anything,
Mhm.
but I see it and
Mm.
it's important that we have discernment and wisdom
Mm,
because a lot of people are being tricked.
mm,
A lot of people are being actually tricked out of generational wealth
mm,
because you got poverty-minded people that's sowing discord
mhm.
and all of the many things
Yeah.
into community and ecosystems.
Mhm,
But to answer your question, it's discernment, it's wisdom, it's understanding pattern recognition, it's um uh looking at the core
mm,
of who that person is and what their motives are and just listening.
mm.
A lot of times too people are too busy talking. You need to just listen.
You are speaking my language. Yeah, uh-huh. Yeah, listening is a superpower,
Yeah.
people will be reckless with their words, you know?
Mhm.
For example, people see me do comedy for the first time. "You are actually funny," you know? That word "actually" is doing a lot of work in that sentence, you know?
Yeah.
It's not "you are funny," it's "you are actually funny," and I'm
Actually,
like,
yeah.
"Oh, so you thought I was gonna suck," you know?
Right.
Right? Like, and you didn't realize that you just told me that, you know?
Right.
And, something I've always admired about you is you are so dialed in and intentional with your word choice, how did you learn that?
Well, I want to say something about what you just said about you
Mhm.
are actually funny.
Yeah.
That is crazy how people think they're giving you a compliment,
Yeah,
right?
for sure.
That is so sick to me because I get that too. People be like, "You are actually very smart."
Yeah,
And I'm like,
right.
"What did you think? I was just cute?" No, I'm not just cute. I am actually very funny. I mean, very
Mhm.
smart, very
Mm.
intelligent. So I just,
Yeah.
that's interesting that, and I hate when people do that or they'll say, "Oh, you're so pretty to be a black girl." And it's like, you didn't
Mm.
give me a compliment.
Yeah, yeah, you coulda just left off those
You
last
could
5
have
words.
left it off, right? So no, I get that. And it's like, somebody said that. You know what? I'm going to say this real quick,
Okay.
right? So,
Mhm.
because this happened to me a few months ago.
Mhm.
I was in a networking event and I heard this individual telling another individual, she's just where she is because of her looks. And I looked around, I thought, is she talking about me?
Mm.
And I'm thinking, as I actually wanted to cry
Mm.
because as hard as I work
Yeah.
and as genuine as I am,
Mhm.
and I've built a track record of success everywhere I've gone.
Mhm.
And I'm thinking, she got to be talking about, she said it again.
Mm.
And so we were getting ready to leave out. I wasn't going to say anything. We were ready to leave out. And then she decided that she said, "Aren't you Velma?"
Mm.
And I'm thinking, my God, she's going to really bring it out of me,
Mm.
And I said, "I am
That's Doctor
Velma."
Trayham
Right,
to you.
Traham to you. Yeah, and I'm thinking, I said, "I am." And I said, "And you know who I am." I said, "I heard you said over there that
Mm.
I am where I am because of how I look."
Oh, you called her out.
I
I
did.
love it.
And she said, "I wasn't talking to you." I said, "I know, but you were talking about me."
Mm.
And I said, "You are beautiful. Why aren't you nowhere?" She didn't like that.
Mm.
She didn't like that. I'm just like, but it's just the point.
Mhm.
You
Mhm.
pass judgment
Mhm.
on people,
Mhm.
preconceived notions, and all of those things. It really hurt my feelings, right?
Yeah, I hear
For
you.
people to look at you and think that because you look a certain way, that you're where you are,
Mm.
and you're discrediting the fact that I'm
Yeah.
a smart woman.
Mhm. I get the opposite. It's like he's where he is in spite of his looks, you know? Like, I was dude, Velma, I was sitting next to my girlfriend at the time, and she's on the phone talking to her best friend, and about me, and she's saying all these, "Hey, so funny," and she's like, "Yeah, I don't even care about looks." I was like, "Yo, hold on." Like, "What? You gotta be crazy." Yeah. We were talking about intentionality and word choice, you know? Yeah. So I guess it's like you see it in the wild and you just think, I'm not gonna be like that person. I'm gonna be really buttoned up. Is that where it comes from? Or
Well, I've learned that once something goes out on the airwaves,
mm,
and once you say something,
mm-hmm.
you're either speaking life or death
Yeah.
because life and death we speak, it's in the power of the tongue.
Mhm.
And so I'm very aware of what I say.
Mhm.
And it's taken a lot of time. It's taken a long time for me to actually get to this place where I
Yeah.
am very aware and,
Mhm.
you know, about my word choice and what I
Yeah.
say.
Mhm.
Because
Mhm.
people also, I've learned, are committed to misunderstanding.
Oh, I love that idea. Let's go
They
down that rabbit hole. Yeah, all right. Committed to
they
misunderstanding.
are committed to misunderstanding, and so they will take your words
Yeah,
and they will twist them as much as they possibly can.
for sure.
And
Mhm.
so for me, I've learned and I've had my words twisted. I've had a lot of things twisted.
Mhm.
And so now I'm like, you know what? I'm going to be very intentional
Mhm.
about how I communicate.
Mhm.
So that way, if they do twist it, it's going to be real hard for them to like twist it
Yeah.
unless they just really want to be committed to misunderstanding.
Mhm. Mhm. So now with this this new role, CEO of the Black Chamber,
Hmm.
congratulations.
Thank you.
You know, like you continue to elevate yourself and to elevate the community underneath you. You know, what does the future hold with that? What do you want to do?
What I wanna do. The Black Chamber, I will say, first off, my predecessor who I really miss, Robin Reed, who passed
Mhm.
away 2.5 years
Yeah.
ago from a stroke.
He was a phenomenal, phenomenal
Phenomenal
man,
individual.
leader,
Yeah,
human, community builder.
yeah.
Mhm.
He, laid the foundation
Mhm.
for a very, very strong, engine,
Mhm.
and I am so honored to continue the legacy of
Mm.
moving the engine forward.
Mhm.
And when I think about the Black Chamber of Arizona, it is an economic mobility driver
Yep.
for all communities
Mm.
who are underserved and underrepresented
Mhm.
and just simply need access
Mm.
to information and rooms
Mhm.
to elevate their lives from poverty to a promising future.
Mm.
And when I think about the work that we're doing with the Black Chamber of Arizona, it's purpose driven work. So I don't necessarily call it work. I think that this is an assignment that I'm on to move this community forward. I There are so many brilliant leaders here in Arizona.
Mm.
There's so many incredible organizations here that are they've been, investing into the community.
Yeah.
They have been very supportive of moving the needle forward.
Mhm.
But somehow, when I moved here, I realized there was a data report um, by the state of Black Arizona
Mm.
and GPEC
Mhm.
on the state of Black businesses. And it was disheartening to see that for 10 years, this was a data report for 10 years that showed the disparities amongst Black Americans here in Arizona.
Mm.
And one of the things that I learned is through that data, we weren't becoming employer firms here.
Ah.
um, that poverty from a national perspective, 8 out of 10 new businesses fail.
Yeah.
And from a national perspective, 99.1 or 2% of our businesses are small businesses.
Yeah.
They're creating job opportunities.
Mhm.
But the challenge is that if people are going into business as solopreneurs,
Mhm.
you can only go so far as one.
Mm.
And so I said, and I have an incredible board, by the way, incredible board. I have an incredible team.
Mm.
I said, if we're going to move this organization forward, we need to focus on strategic impact.
Yeah.
And that is creating more employer firms. These are businesses that are creating job opportunities in our
Yeah.
communities. And the way we're going to be able to do that is by helping businesses build the proper infrastructure
Mm.
to go after public and private contracts. So they get these $1 million, multi-million dollar contracts. So then they create job opportunities. They're able to subcontract. They're able to add to the GDP.
Mhm.
And so for me, I'm a businesswoman. So I'm going to
Yeah.
look at everything business and how do we move the needle fast? How do we help people walk in purpose. So
Mhm.
everything that I do is aligned with that. And so the chamber, I'm going to call it, it's like an economic mobility driver
Yeah.
that's built on purpose
Mhm.
to move the needle forward.
Mm. You know, a lot of times when we have people on extraordinary stories, it's a little bit less clear what they're known for. But with you, I'm going to take a stab at it. To me, from this conversation and what I know about you, you know, I think you would be known for being the person that like stormed the castle, got out of poverty and stormed the castle of wealth. And then not only that, blew up the gate behind you so that
Mm.
it's no longer keeping people out.
Ooh,
Yeah. That's what I think you're known
wow.
for. Yeah.
I love that.
Mm.
And if I were to summarize it,
Mhm.
that is so beautifully said. In fact, in my new book, I have a chapter
Mm.
called Overcoming Evil Gatekeepers.
Yeah, you
And you
just blew
just
up the whole gate.
that's it. So I would
Mm.
I would I would thank you for that.
Yeah, yeah, my pleasure. You've given so much good advice. I ask this for everyone that comes on Extraordinary Stories. If you could give one piece of advice that our listeners could do today to be more extraordinary, what would it be?
Okay, so I'm going to talk to two different
Let's do it.
individuals, right? The first individual I'm gonna talk to, if this is an entrepreneur, aspiring entrepreneur, or even a young person that is trying to understand what their future looks like, I'm gonna say be a solution or create a solution
Mm,
to a problem.
mm,
There are so many problems in the world that you can create a solution for. When you are solving problems, you will never need money
mhm.
because money follows solutions to problems. So you become unfireable
Mm,
by solving problems
mm,
and walking in your purpose and destiny. So when you solve that problem,
mm.
you realize and understand the demographic of people who you're actually solving the problem for,
Yeah.
what keeps them up at night.
Mhm,
And then when you identify the group of people that you're solving the problem for, then you're going to create a revenue model for that problem that
mhm.
you're solving
Yeah.
for this demographic of people.
Mhm.
And then you're going to just walk in your purpose and destiny. So that's that.
I love it.
For the senior level executive or the person, individuals that's working, I call them entrepreneurs. Those are the people that are making change from the inside out.
Mm,
I will say, do not attach your purpose to your title because when you lose your title, you still need to walk in purpose, which is the problem that you're solving within the infrastructure that you are in.
mm.
So if you happen to lose your title today or tomorrow, start the business of the business that you're doing right in the environment that you're in so you become unfireable and not displaced. You can be fired from your job, but you can never be fired from your purpose.
Man. No, we have so much to cover, but we are at time right now. You can read more about Dr. Trayham and the book Unfireable and all the awesome things that she is building at joinextraordinary.com. That's JOINEXTRAORDINARY.com. I'm Forbes Shannon, and
This is
you
so
are.
good. Dr. Velma Trayham.
We'll see you guys next time.